All right, well, the time has finally come for us to load up the minivan and head south, chasing some sunshine. About 18 months ago, I bought this bike carrier to be able to take the smallest of my motorcycles on some of our adventures, and I'd only used it once, so I decided this was a worthy application to get it back out of the shed, hook everything up, and bring the 1985 Yamaha back down south. This time to the beaches of North Carolina. We were headed to the Outer Banks for some sunshine, some ocean time, and we were excited. So we drove south in rain, and as you see here, everybody has their own different way of coping with the long drive. One of the things we have learned in traveling quite a bit is that you have to make the travel day part of the trip.
Holding our breath through the tunnel.
Go.
Ready?
No.
Don't do it yet, Tweety. You gotta wait.
Ready? Set.
And so I'm not sure where this tradition originated from, but we have this thing where we hold our breath anytime we go through a tunnel and see if we can hold our breath for the entirety of the tunnel. Obviously, it's not worth passing out or blacking out, but it is a fun challenge, and this is the Allegheny Mountain Tunnel on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I actually made it all the way through. So like I said, one of the tricks we have is that we always try to make the travel day part of the vacation, part of the experience, getting to see the states, getting to see the different landscapes, getting to encounter different weather. And so that's what we were doing here. You see, we only have 3 of our kids with us. They kind of bounced around. We brought Aaron's mom and sister with us on this trip. And so they always had a couple of our kids, and we had 3, and they all just kind of rotated. This is the bridge that turns into a tunnel going across the Chesapeake Bay. And we literally rode across this bridge right into a torrential thunderstorm. So it was very cool to see the storm and then drive into it. And finally, we were on US Highway 158 headed south to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I used to say this bridge right here was my favorite bridge of all time because this bridge meant you were going on to the Outer Banks. It's still a top 5 bridge for sure. So here we are pulling into Kitty Hawk, North Carolina to our Airbnb right on a golf course, probably just 250 yards from the ocean. Cannot beat it. There's something about the first time you pull up to the house you'll be staying in for a week that just feels so special. And we were excited. The kids had butterflies. It was awesome. The drive this day was pretty punishing. We probably had about 10 hours, 11 hours behind us at this point, so we were excited to see this driveway and to find some food. We packed most of our groceries, so that meant I had to get the bike off the back of this van as quickly as possible so we could start to unpack, find our food, and make a quick dinner because we were all starving. Here's Aaron's mom and sister pulling up with a couple of our kids, and they got right to work as well. And there we were, right at home at the Outer Banks, Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Threw the drone up in the air just to commemorate that first night, and it's so cool that you can actually see the waves crashing from the sky. What a sight to behold. See you in the morning, Outer Banks. So I was up super early, probably just the excitement of vacation and everything else, but I flew the drone hoping to catch a sunrise and too much cloud cover, and I might have been up a little bit after sunrise time anyways, but it was still awesome to catch some footage. And then we just had a slow morning. Everybody slept good. Everybody was excited to be there. Ate some breakfast, just hung out. Got to know our new little kitchen that we'd be enjoying for the week. Just made ourselves at home. This was we call it the Hawk's Nest, but it's the highest possible deck at the house. Anderson found himself up there reading the very first morning. You see it's quite overcast, and honestly, we didn't mind. It was still in the high 80s. It was very warm, very comfortable to our northern souls that had endured such a long winter. We had a hot tub, and we were still willing to get into that hot tub even though it was in the 80s. But the overcast skies actually benefited us because
when did she ask that?
We were doing sunblock and everything else, and we still probably burned more than we needed to. And it was just a nice slow start to the suntan process and the sun
exposure. Once you get it on that mat,
process.
it should be okay.
So here we are headed for
Come on.
Beach Day 1, Adventure Day 1. This would have been Sunday, Father's Day actually. And Saturdays and Sundays are really chill at the Outer Banks because so many people are leaving and coming. And so there's a big turnover. So if you get there on a Saturday, you'll see here in a little bit, we actually had the beach pretty much to ourselves for most of this Sunday. And like I said, it looks a little gloomy, but it was high 80s, super comfortable. We didn't have an umbrella yet. We bought one later in the trip. And so the cloud cover was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, set up right next to those people. That's exactly what they wanted. That's what they wanted when they established their spot, was for a party of 9 with a dog to find the literal closest.
And their armpit.
Oh no!
And in all of Anderson's excitement, he spilled everything out of the wagon. But we got that cleaned up, and then the kids headed right for the water. And it was cold-ish, I would say.
They see, oh, it's cold. Is it warmish?
But it was also warmish.
Oh man! Dude! You need a chiropractor after that, dude. Pull those pants up.
For all of our kids but
AC,
Anderson, this was probably their first time actually experiencing the Outer Banks and remembering it. So they were super excited to be able to experience it and then have memories. You see here we got to work catching crabs. We even had a crab catch me, which was pretty funny. This little guy would not let go. He was terrified. And then I got the drone in the air. Because it was dead and I just wanted to see what that experience would be like flying it out over the water. I also wanted to look down and see what I could see in the ocean. It was very clear, very clean. And like you see here, the beach is just absolutely empty, mostly because of the turnover, houses being emptied, new people driving in. We pretty much had the place to ourselves, which was awesome.
How you doing, Sissy Joe? You having fun? Oh boy! Dive in it! Dive in it! Whoa!
Wow! I'm able to get back up when I fell. Whoa!
Dude, dive right through it! Dive right through it!
My gosh. Need help? Oh my gosh, he's nuts. Look at him. He's just...
Mom, it's all tangled up.
All right,
Oh,
I'll
no,
help
it's
you.
not.
You got it? Bonesy, go wash off.
All right, well, then the absolute coolest thing happened. First, you see here, I got the drone out over the waters, and that right there is a sandbar. This was probably 100 yards or more from the shore, but where to the right of the screen, it's really yellow and shallow, and then you see that black ridge of kind of sea debris. That's a sandbar, and had we swam out to it, we could have stood up. It might have been only up to our knees or our waist there, which is super cool. And we actually did do that later in the week. But the thing about the Outer Banks is that sandbar moves all the time, closer to shore, further from shore. You have to be really careful with it. And then one of my main goals and one of my main reasons for bringing the drone on this trip and to the ocean was this right here. I hoped we would see dolphins, and then I prayed that if we saw dolphins, I could get my drone over top of them and record it. And this happened before lunch on the first day we were there. It was an absolute miracle. Check this out. A little mama and a baby right here. It is so cool. I probably have about 4 minutes of this footage. I'm just sharing a couple minutes of it here, but look how cool this is. Just absolutely surreal to see these beautiful creatures in the wild. They're right on that sandbar, so they must really like the shallowness of it. I don't know if it's easier to find food there. I don't know if it's warmer there, but they were in the shallow of the sandbar, just swimming along for all of us to see. There's probably a dozen of them we counted. And then they were even having fun. Right here, you're gonna see one of them kind of do a spin as he approaches some of his friends. Absolutely unreal footage. So grateful. I was so nervous as I was trying to capture it because I just wanted to get as much of it as I could, but super grateful to be able to get this footage. And needless to say, we were happy.
Woo!
We were riding waves.
Good job, Anna.
We were sitting in the sand. We were warm, and we felt at home. Even Bear found some shelter and enjoyed himself. When all that was done, we decided we wanted to kick things off with authentic, genuine seafood. So we found this place online, Billy's Seafood. We went there to see what we could see and to buy some authentic Atlantic fish.
All right, let's see what we got here.
So here is some of their offerings at Billy's Seafood. This is all authentic Atlantic caught fish, fresh from the ocean. And we were after whatever would be best for some fish tacos for Father's Day dinner. And we ended up with some golden tilefish, as well as some flounder. That right there is the golden tilefish. We did a quick breading on that and then pan fried it. It did not disappoint. It was absolutely awesome. And then I went out for a Father's Day motorcycle ride. We brought the bike all the way from Pennsylvania. We had to get some twists and turns in, and so this was super fun. I'd actually never been on Collington Island, but it has some really good windy roads. This is where Billy's Seafood is, and so I found this fun and winding road by picking up those fish tacos. So I ended up having to race home to beat a thunderstorm. So this wasn't as long of a ride as I would have liked, but it was still super special to get some North Carolina miles. I took this cool picture, and then I actually had a friend hit me up on Instagram, and she cleaned it up and made it look even more impressive. So thank you, Allison, for doing that. But that was day one. And the next morning we woke up and decided, what do we want to do for day two? This spot here was right behind our Airbnb. It's called Sandy Run Park and Preserve. And I had seen online in researching it that there was supposed to be thousands of small turtles. And so we decided, let's go check it out. And again, we were not disappointed. This was a super fun little walk. It was about a half-mile loop, kind of through the woods, through the swampy area, this nature preserve. But it was super enjoyable, and it didn't take long. We found ourselves at the end of a gazebo, and here come the turtles.
How cute. Look, they're out there.
Preston thoroughly enjoyed himself and got his sister close to the action. And then I had one swim right up to the GoPro, which was cool. This little guy was super curious. The night before was that thunderstorm I talked about in my motorcycle footage. So this water was actually higher than it usually is. Everything was higher than it usually was. So that may have influenced how active these turtles could be or couldn't be.
Look at that yellowish.
But we were still having a really good time taking it all in.
Butter.
All right, well, from there, because it was a little bit cooler, we decided instead of going to the beach, let's go catch some crabs. This was a tradition that I have been doing since I was a kid at the Outer Banks. But it's really not that hard. You buy some chicken, you tie it to a string, you throw it in the water at the sound, and the crabs start biting. And then you just get yourself a good net and you can scoop them right up. So we did a whole lot of that. It was super fun. Preston was kind of the crab whisperer. He easily caught probably half of what we hauled in. But it was fun. And if you know how to hold them right, that's also kind of a fun little challenge to be had and to teach your kids. But mostly we just enjoyed being together, having a new experience. And then when it was all done, this is kind of a fun way to end it. You dump them all out and watch them race to the sides of the dock to get back into the sound.
Wow, there's so many limbs.
Just some fun catch and release
This guy's gonna jump in.
with blue crabs from the sound. I think we only caught one the whole week that actually would be big enough to eat. Then that evening, Monday night, we headed down to Roanoke Island, Manteo, North Carolina, for the Lost Colony. This is actually a piece of living history. This colony and Fort Raleigh were established right here on this land, and they have since created a space for an outdoor musical. And when I was a kid, I did this one time. It's changed quite a bit over the years, but it was super fun to bring my family there and to experience it. And it was absolutely awesome to see it all and just take it all in together. Our kids were super impressed with all of it. It was a really late night. This production didn't start till 8:30 p.m. So they had quite a lot of work to do to stay awake, but we had second row seats.
All right, let's just go down here.
It was as close as I was able to purchase them. And so it was easy to stay awake when you're that close to the action. Not too bad.
The Creator calls this land to be, and my people lived on this land among the animals. The bear, the leader of the animals, the protector, who one day gathered the animals together and told them of a prophecy.
David was the name of the Spanish robbery as she sailed upon the Lord and the lonesome road. As she sailed upon the lonesome.
Preston was over the top excited watching all the ins and outs of the set and how they pull it all off.
Did that smoke actually?
Very cool production, like we said, very late night. All right, well then, the only other thing we'll cover in this video is Erin and I were blessed by her mom and sister to be able to take a motorcycle date night. So before we left, I had set this bike up to be able to handle 2-up riding again, which ironically, when I bought it, it was set up for that. I cut it all apart, made it a 1-seater, but I was able to modify it back to be able to be a 2-seater. So we went out, had some fun, chased some windy roads, explored some new places, and it was just super fun to be on an island, cruising around on a little beach bike and taking it all in. And of course, capturing some cool footage, because what else do you do when you have a sweet bike and a GoPro to get some footage? We found ourselves at an antique gallery, and then I saw one spot where I could get the bike close to the ocean and get this sweet picture. So we had a great time on our date night. The next morning, we woke up at 5:15 to be able to catch the sunrise over the Atlantic. This is something I've always wanted to do and never actually done. And then when the alarm went off at 5:15, I didn't want to do it anymore. But we made it happen. We got in the van. We headed down. I actually forgot the water for our coffee. We brought our camp coffee set up, so I raced home, got the water, came back, and captured all this on time lapse. But just super special, so fun for it to be warm enough for you to just sit outside, catching a sunrise, drinking a coffee, see a little ghost crab action there with Bear. As we sat there, we were able to watch this guy come in and out of this hole. This is pretty much their entire existence. It's just burrowing in their hole, throwing their sand, and heading back down to do the same thing. But this is just part one. And yeah, the Outer Banks, such a special place. So grateful for the opportunity to take my family there. So grateful for all the memories I have going there as a kid. And so we hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll catch the next one, part 2, Outer Banks Vacation 2025.